So, Keith, you seem quite excited about your near-term developments in regards to your world-class asset in Kenya. Why are you so optimistic?
Well, I think there's three main factors. I think number one, we've kind of solved some of the technical issues. We've been working a lot on our early production system, our injectivity testing, and I think we're really getting confident that these reservoirs are capable of producing what we think they are. I think once you get the technical asset, it really goes to the second thing. We really need a cooperative government. This is the first oil that will ever be produced in Kenya. I think there's a lot of regulations we have to go through to make sure it's done right. And I have to say the government has been extremely cooperative, and we're getting very close to signing all the agreements we need to basically move the project forward. And I think the other thing that people were concerned about, and honestly was concerned about myself, was, our partners are really behind this. Obviously, with Maersk takeover by Total, the question is how committed are Total to this project? I think we're seeing a lot of evidence now that Total are quite committed to the project. They're putting a lot of people on it. They're putting a lot of money into it, and I think you'll see the project accelerating with respect to Total. I think Tullow as well. They've made some moves in their company. Their balance sheet is much stronger than it was a couple of years ago. I think we see the partnership is really being committed to this project, and you're evidencing that by seeing everything moving forward. The front engineering, the pipeline, all of the studies that we need to do, the environmental social impact. So I think that's very positive.
You have adopted quite an unusual approach to exploration. Can you maybe talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it is a bit strange. We're almost like a portfolio investor in three different oil companies. I mean, the first of those was Africa Energy, which we spun out, so that was kind of a natural portfolio investment. But I think we realized about 18 months ago that we need to get back a little to our roots and start looking at exploration. So as we looked at the somewhat daunting task of trying to build an exploration portfolio, we were probably looking 5 to 10 years to really get a good exploration portfolio put together. So what we did is we went out in the market and we found two additional companies besides Africa Energy that we think had really good portfolios, but also had strong requirements for funding in a market that's very difficult to raise financing. So we are able to come in basically and take a large interest in those companies, take a board seat, have some type of control on those companies, but also have ones that have near-term wells that are actually being carried by major oil companies. So the net result is we've got an outstanding portfolio, some of the hottest plays on earth, Guyana, Namibia, South Africa, Senegal, Gabon, and we'll have wells, at least 2 to 3 wells every year from now on, and we don't have to put in any more money into it. So I think the market has reacted well. Most of the stocks that are at least publicly traded have at least doubled since we put our money in.
The M&A market within the oil sector seems to have heated up quite a bit lately. Can we see Africa Oil make an acquisition of a producing asset?
Yeah, I think that's really the third leg of the triangle. I think if we have Kenya moving forward the way we think we are, if we have a good exploration portfolio, give us some of that upside romance, I think the thing we really would like to do is get a production asset that gives us cash flow. And I think it's more difficult when oil price has gone up to $80, but I think there still are some special circumstances. We've got 2 or 3 ones that we're looking at now that I think we can still get for very reasonable prices. And I think that really changes the company. So I think Africa Oil was originally just a build up Kenya and sell. I think we've learned we need to get value in Kenya, we need to stay in longer. We're probably going to have to stay in at least through phase 1 and to perhaps even to phase 2. And to do that, we need to basically diversify. We need exploration, we need production. So I think we're kind of looking to build, I'd say, a Lundin Petroleum in reverse. So how Lundin started, they bought production and cash flow. They used that cash flow to find Johan Sverdrup and Edvard Grieg, and now they're using the cash flow from that to develop further resources. So I think we did it a little bit in reverse. We had a nice development project in Kenya. Now we've added exploration. Now we're looking to add production. But the net result will be an integrated African oil company that has exploration, production, cash flow, and a nice world-class development project.
What is your top priority right now?
I think it really is that producing asset. So I think we're making very good progress in Kenya. We're making good progress on the exploration front, but I think we really need that production asset. So again, we're not going to silly overpay and value something at $70 to $80 a barrel. I think we're valuing more in $50 to $60 a barrel. And I think there are some special circumstances where we can actually buy production in that range. And I think that really will put us in a new class. I think people will re-rate the shares. Right now, I think our share price has suffered because everybody's waiting to see Kenya get a little bit of momentum. If we have production and cash flow, if we have some exploration wells coming up, and we keep seeing Kenya development, I think you'll see a re-rating of Africa Oil shares.